Hey guys, Huz here. Now this time I'm doing a Syndra commentary, and you probably can notice a few differences already. One being that you can see chat. Obviously, I'm talking to a friend that I had the idea already in my head, but he's also he was talking it to me because of Lolreplay problems. Um, I had the stream up, and he said I could turn the VOD into a live commentary, which obviously I'm doing now. And there is, positives and downsides to this. I have muted the audio in this video because I was on vent with my team, and I don't think you really want to hear us, laughing, making a lot of calls. I want to talk about what we did, like in specifics, where, just random calls that we get and you guys might not, won't really help you. But there are positives to this as well because you will get my exact point of view of the game. You'll see where I click, you'll see where I look, you kind of see where my reaction and where my point of view is looking at that time, which I think is quite a benefit. You can see how I play a little bit more because this is a live. This is how I'm actually playing the game, not a replay. Well, it is a replay, but you know what I mean. Now I'm playing Syndra this game. A lot of people ask me to do Syndra, and you can see my starting items. I went Fairy Charm, 3 health pot, 3 mana pot, and 1 ward. I think this is a relatively good start for Syndra, and I'm against a Gragas mid. And my team comp, we didn't really go for a specific comp. This was just a warm-up game to ranked 5s. Now, I believe our opponents were of gold, platinum level, basically like us. But I could be wrong. But they were fairly decent. But yeah, Syndra is one of my favourite champions. I don't play her as much as I should. My friends have been giving me a hard time that I've been playing a lot of ADs mid lately, which is quite true. I've been playing a lot of Kha'Zix, Zed, that type of thing. Now you will see me tab out occasionally, which is part of the VOD. So sorry about this. In the future, if I do this again, then I will make sure I won't tab out. Now I will say one thing with Syndra. A lot of people do different builds on Syndra. She is one of the most versatile, champions to do different builds on. Now I believe I tab out a little bit at the beginning, but later on I won't tab out at all. And basically the build I go for, I always go for Tear on Syndra because the Muramana damage with her ult is incredible. Now if you don't know about the Muramana damage, basically every single, firstly I start from Muramana obviously increases the damage to how much mana you have when it's active. And every single ball of Syndra's ult will have this effect if Muramana's on. So if Muramana gives you an extra 100 damage from the item, then each ball will have an extra 100 damage. So if you're throwing 5 balls at someone, there's an extra 500 damage for free. Now, it's not broken, but it's just a pretty good itemization on her that I like to go. I also go DFG on her because Syndra is a burst mage. She basically picks a target, instantly bursts it down, and they're pretty much dead, or they should be dead. Or if they're not dead, they should definitely be having to base. Now, I'm probably going to start playing a Syndra quite a bit more because Syndra is one of them champions that I believe, I've mentioned in my previous video that I picked Lux, Kayle, and Ryze for solo queue. But I do believe if you know Syndra really well, she can beat anything in game. Not many people know how to play against her. She's like an Orianna when she first came out. People still have trouble playing against the Orianna because half the time you're looking at the champion, but then half of the time you're looking at the ball. You don't know what to kind of, focus on. Well, it's near enough the same for Syndra, but Syndra has a lot more burst than Orianna. And she actually has quite a good utility. She has the stun, which in a team fight, if you ult a target and then use your E, all the balls fly out, and if they hit their whole team, everybody on the team can get stunned. Now, as I said, this is a VOD, so you will see chat in the bottom left. Now, I think I was talking about my video I just brung out yesterday that was what champions to play in solo queue in mid lane. I'll probably start on what junglers to play. And yeah, my friend's saying the footage at the start was a bit boring, so I'm going to probably try and make that a little bit better for you guys. But yeah, Syndra, she's a champion that I love to play. She's a champion that can pretty much fit in any comp. Like if you are a pre-made 5v5 team, and if you're the mid laner, or if you're someone that has a mid laner, and you guys struggle with comps, Syndra can pretty much be fit in any comp. In a poke comp, she's an okay poke. Her poke is kind of exactly like an Orianna. She's probably the best champion I would compare Syndra to. That she hasn't got great poke like a Nidalee from far range, but if you're sieging under a tower, she can throw balls over walls, she can throw a stun over a wall, she has that good siege. Now, She also can be fit in a AoE comp. Like, obviously, all her spells apart from her ulti are pretty much AoE. Obviously, every single one of her shots apart from her ult is a skill shot. That's why she has quite a high skill cap. She is one of the hardest mids to play, but has really high reward if you do well on her. Like, obviously, quite a few people are known for their Syndra. You've got Phantom Lord, that's known for his. You've got Link from COG, that's known for his. And you've got Bjergsen from Copenhagen Wolves, that's known for his as well. And, you know, these people are known for their Syndra because, you know, you can make really big plays in there. You had the CLG match where Link took W first on Syndra and stole away a blue, which was a really good play. I wouldn't recommend doing that in solo queue unless your duo partner is on comms with you in their, you know, the jungler or something, so you can steal away their blue like nice and easy. It's always quite a big risk doing that if you're not taking a damage spell really level 1. Now let's see what's happening in this game. I haven't really talked about much about this game. I'm just basically against Gragas mid. We've just been farming. He is at this point out farming me, which is not good on my part. I haven't played Syndra in a while, but that's no excuse. I should always be okay in, you know, farming. That's something you should always, you know, always have. Now, I'm nearly at the situation where I can nearly one-shot people, kind of. Now, I've got quite a lot of gold already saved up. I've got 1,200, but I am waiting for around 1,600, 1,700, as I want to get my needlessly large rod. Obviously, I'm rushing DFG. Now returning to mid lane, just farming. You know, at the moment me and Gragas, we kind of know that if we just go for straight up burst, we can't really kill each other. Which, quite a lot of matchups in mid are like this, but especially with the Syndra, you know, you shouldn't really die early on Syndra. I'll rephrase that. You shouldn't really die on Syndra. She has such great escape. Like, sure, her mobility isn't high, but her stun is so good. Like, if you're in a fight, you should always have at least 2 balls up. You should always have one from, like, previous, if you've Q'd and W'd the enemy. But then, obviously, her her cooldowns are quite low. Like, some people also build CDR on her. You know, they build Athenes or something along that lines, or Morellonomicon, which CDR does work on Syndra quite well. But I just go for the burst. That's the kind of role I play on Syndra. I have played both. I used to play the CDR Syndra, but you know I'm starting to get into the burst Syndra. Now here's something I did quite well. The Gragas keeps trying to come back from behind, but I basically keep denying him, so he can't really get the farm. You know, he hit the barrel, but he missed a bit of the CS, so that was quite good on my part. I was just, you know, zoning him so he couldn't get back in. Now a lot of people ask, where's Syndra's strength? You know, not people know a lot about her, where her strength is pretty much level 6. She does a lot of damage, but I wouldn't say she has one-shot potential at level 6. It's when she gets a DFG. Now, we noticed the Lee coming in. I thought he went in that bush, but then my jungler on comms said he's here. So this is a free kill. The Lee Sin did not take Flash. He took Exhaust, which, you know, quite a lot of Lee Sins do, which is not a bad mistake by any means. You know, a lot of junglers take Exhaust, or some junglers take TP nowadays. You know, quite a lot of Nocturnes you see take TP, so they can just TP on a ward and then ult straight away. Personally, I am not someone to do this when I jungle. I always like having Flash or Ghost, depending the champion. Now, Lee Sin, he is in my champion pool. Mainly, I do play him mid. Not as much anymore, but I do play him. Now, I'll quickly say, the Gragas is about to base. He's ahead of me on CS by a little bit, so I'm going to try and deny him as much as I can. Now, at this point, the Gragas should not have based. I stopped him basing, and now he's going to try and base again. Now, I'm pushing his wave, and I'm going to get this wave to tower. Then I'm going to base. So he's going to miss out quite a bit of XP and CS. Now, I'm going to base, but then the Lee Sin turns up, which is kind of still in my favour because the CS and XP isn't going to Gragas. So, like, in this game, my CS was okay. Like, it gets better later on, but my early CS was quite poor. Like, I'm at basically 80 at 12 minutes. At this point, I should be near 100. So I've missed quite a few CS. I have roamed or, you know, gone away from mid a couple times, but, you know, it's not really an excuse. I'm sorry for the tab out again. As I said, this is a VOD, so next time I do this, I'll make sure I won't tab out as much. And another reason for why I muted the sound is that obviously I play music when I play, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm allowed to play music on YouTube for copyright reasons and all that. So Now I noticed the Gragas is going down, so I know I wouldn't really get there. I don't have like tier 2 boots yet, so I'm just trying to push mid to try and force him back, and it works. You know, he comes back with the Lee Sin in mid as well. So it's just pressuring a bit. You know, I'm just hovering around mid. There's not really much to do. Now, arguably at this point, I should have taken Race of Wolves, but my jungler was near red, so he probably wanted the farm. So, but I could have taken Wolves at that point. But yeah, just back to CS in mid. You know, Syndra has quite easy farm, and with tier especially, you know, it's okay to use your spells more so than another champion, especially champions obviously you have tier, but she is a spammer. She spams her abilities quite well, and she pokes quite well. You know, that's just free damage, just easy free damage. You can do that all the time. Now at this point, I'm probably a little bit ahead on Gragas in gold, simply because of the kill. Now, I'm going to ward here because, well, I'm failing warding there, but yeah. Warded there because simply we had no vision of that side, and just in case the Lee Sin came to try and steal or something like that, you know, I really want this blue. So I get the blue and then return to mid, hopefully not going to miss CS too much, and luckily the tower locks onto, you know, the minion that has more health than the others, so I was able to pick up all three. Managed to pick up every CS in that wave, which is pretty good. Now that is something that a lot of people kind of, you know, don't realise. Try and pick up every... Well, it's an obvious thing to say, but try and pick up every CS in a wave because, you know, it just gets you ahead in gold. If you miss, say, on average 2 CS every wave, that's 40 gold per wave that you're missing, or maybe even more. Or call it 50 gold per wave that you're missing that you could have had. So if you times that by, I don't know, 10 waves, that's 400 gold just simply because you missed 2 CS a wave. So, you know, if you actually think of things like that, you know, it's quite a lot of gold. Now, obviously, me and my Uda are coming bot just to see if something happens. We see Lee Sin's entered our jungle, and we're thinking he wants to come through the back way into Tribush, where we're standing. So we are waiting, you know, for him. We've told our bot lane to stay in lane, try and bait out the Lee Sin, but we know he's not going to come. You know, I think either he went in there to try and bait us not going bottom lane, to try and think he's going to come in our jungle as he backed off. Like, we don't find him in our jungle. So, now, Uda is going for Gragas, and he is a bit ahead of me, so he did back off, but then Gragas ults him away anyway. So at this point, I know Gragas doesn't have ult. So, I should be going a bit more aggressive, because obviously the Gragas ult does, you know, a lot of damage. He's got, I think he had a needlessly large rod at this point, so his ult should be doing about, I don't know, 400, 500 damage, which is a fair bit. Now, Lee Sin is going top lane, you know, that's one thing you probably notice, myself and the jungler, you'll always see me and him pinging. Me and him have quite a lot of map awareness, so we always ping. And you notice my rapid clicking, you know. I don't know what it is, but, you know, if I'm clicking, I just spam. It doesn't change how quick you move or anything, but now I'm fighting the Gragas a little bit. Now, I should have, had put Ignite on him, but yeah. That was a bad trade by me. Like, I won the trade, sure, but I should have been a kill, sorry. You know, I missed the stun, and that made me miss a W and not have an Ignite. That was just bad play on me by on Syndra, where that should have been a kill. Now, I've forced him out of lane, which is quite good, so I can just free CS, push it up to his tower. And as you can see, you know, we're fairly even. He's 2 CS ahead of me now, but I am still 1 kill ahead. Now I'm just wanting to wait for my DFG. I don't really want to base until I have it. So just farming this wave, and then I'll have enough. You know, he's got back to lane fairly quick, because obviously Gragas has his E that he can keep spamming. Now I want to make sure I get this cannon wave, so I bring it away, and, you know, just easy CS. So now I can base and get my DFG, which increases my damage by, you know, a lot. 1, it gives me more AP, and 2, it gives me the DFG for extra burst. So now I'm at a stage where I can one-shot things. You know, I can probably one-shot the Gragas with full combo. Obviously, I have Ignite still up, so that gives me quite, you know, a lot of kill potential on him. But I also can kill the Lee Sin. As you notice, he went Sightstone on Lee Sin, which it's not a common thing to do on him, but it's not something that is bad. You know, Lee Sin, especially without Flash, you know, this is probably a good play by the Lee Sin, that he can just jump away. And as you can see, I'm returning to lane, immediately put pressure on the Gragas, and I get a kill. And he burned Flash. Now, one thing I did bad on that trade was I didn't ult, you know, straight away. I wanted to wait till I had 2 balls up in the area, not just 1. So I did wait until I could get 2. Now the Lee Sin just goes deep with me without obviously flash. He uses a sight stone ward to try and get away, but then our bot lane with good communication has managed to make their way up here. Now I'm just fending off. Obviously I'm quite low health, so I don't want to go in really deep. But that's a free kill for Ashe, which is pretty good. Now the Lee Sin is getting to a point that without flash he's getting caught, which, you know, in his mind he's probably thinking, oh god, I wish I took flash, you know. And my team's doing dragon, they don't need me, so I'm just going to go push up mid. Always keep your mid push. You don't really want to CS like dying to tower, because that's gold and XP that is going to waste. Just grab the CS, and then I can base and get my tier 2 boots. Now Gragas returns, just taking the CS. Now top lane, we haven't... Well, there's a few things that's happened top lane, but obviously if you... This is from my point of view. You see I haven't like gone over top lane hardly at all. My vision has normally gone to bot lane. Normally in our games, our top laner, he simply just farms. You know, a couple of kills get traded now and then, but he simply just farms. And when it comes to team fights, he comes down. Or if we're going for objective, and if we need him, he'll come down. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, he's playing Garen this game against a Singed, which is it's a fairly even matchup. There's no direct like, oh, this champion will win, because it's just, it doesn't work that way against like a Singed is still strong, but Garen's fairly tanky and strong. Like Garen does surprising damage, especially against stuff that builds health with his ult. Now, obviously, we see them taking our blue. Trying to deny me, as at this stage I'm doing quite well. I'm on 150 CS before 20 minutes, which isn't bad. It should be more, but it isn't bad. And I'm 2-0. Now, his bad positioning on my part, I totally am like immune. So they just going for me. They just tunnel vision the hell out of me. Now I burst the Gragas down. As you can see, I've like amazing burst. So then the Lee Sin kicks me out. So now I'm fairly safe. So now from the outside, I can just simply poke, and there's an Ashe arrow that comes past just to help. Doesn't help though. And we get all three of them for no deaths. Now, that was basically them going, okay, we need to deny this Syndra. And blue buff away from a Syndra is quite a big deny. Now, this is what happens like in higher elo games. You know, a lot of people, if you find yourself in lower elo, they might have based by then. But we knew we could get middle tower. And now we're looking, you know, if our blue's up, their blue's up. But then we look at bot lane. You can see me looking at vision of bot lane. And I tell my jungler, all right, go bot lane, get a kill. He goes straight for the Janna, and he gets the Janna. And then we're on the Severe, which should be quite an easy kill. You know, there's quite a lot of us. Garen full health, basically. And there you go. We've just basically aced them. We got a triple kill near our blue, and then we get the both bot. Now, obviously, it wasn't an ace because they came up before death, but we got all 5. Now, a lot of people say, why didn't you go then get the blue to deny the blue, where it wasn't worth it. Like, we just basically got an ace, and then they were respawning, and they would have been that blue by the time we were doing it, so it's just not worth it. You know, be happy for what you get. Don't always go, right, we need this, we need these. At the same time, you don't. If you get kills, don't be greedy, just maximize the stuff you can get without, you know, dying. That is the one big mistake a lot of people make. They'll go for a trade and it's not worth it. Simply don't die. That's one big thing advice I would give to a mid laner. If you don't get kills, fine. You know, getting kills on a mid laner is a big bonus. Focus on your CS more than kills, I would, and just don't die. Make sure you don't die. Dying gives you nothing. Like, you lose CS when you're dead, you lose everything. Now, I killed the Lee quite easily. He burns his exhaust on me, but I'm still managed to kill him. So at this point, fairly strong. I'm 403 with 165 CS. Obviously, I have been picking up wraiths now and then. So obviously, that's a bit more gold than it would be a normal wave in the mid lane. Now, at this point, us as a team, we're kind of talking, right, what's the next thing we need to go for? But then me and my jungler notice we're coming again bottom lane. You know, we're fairly tanky, we're fairly fed at this point. I don't have ult, but I still do quite a bit of damage. So we're coming behind them again. Our Udyr is super quick. He's got, I think, Mo boots at this point with movement speed quints. Now we get the Severe flash straight away. Ashe arrow, we kill a Janna. I'm now 503. Now we see the Gragas coming into vision now, where I just want to keep poking him a little bit, because with my AD coming to, you know, help, I think we can get a kill. Gragas bursts his ult on me. You know, I will say the Gragas didn't do amazing ults this game, but Gragas ults aren't easy to do. You know, you have to get the positioning right. And I don't know what the Severe was doing here. Like, we get a kill. Gragas goes deep on me. wasn't going to kill me. He didn't have his ult up. I don't know why he flashed. Just a little bit of a mistake on his part. Now, arguably, I should have just gone straight for the Gragas at this point, but I noticed the Lee was trying to Q me. So that's just having awareness of where their team is. Now, I've got DFG back up, but I'm trying to, as I said, I do like playing Syndra, but I don't know her limits. And obviously, yeah, Q and E over that wall is too big a range. I could have probably Q'd myself, thrown the ball over the tower, and maybe E'd it while it was in midair. Then it would have gone more. I'm not entirely sure. Now, we managed to pick up the Lee because he went a bit deep. I ward back up our blue, and then I head back to mid, basically to go push it out. Now we get that second tower bot lane, which is pretty good. And I'm asking top lane from memory, like, how's top going? And he goes, basically, it's farm fest, we're poking each other now and then. So that's a typical top lane of both, tanky-ish characters. Now I'm returning back to base. I've got 1600 gold. So that means I can get another needlessly large rod, which is going to build to my death cap. I'm waiting for 75 gold to pick up a ward. As I've said in previous videos, always pick up a ward if you've got the gold. You can see in this video, I pick up a fair amount of wards. Most times I've gone back, I've picked up 1 or 2 wards. Which is pretty good. Now, a lot of people will say, how do I carry a game? I'm 505. I've been involved in 10 of the 13 kills, which is pretty good for a mid laner. How can I carry this game effectively? It's just basically just roaming at the right times and just securing kills. Like, at this point, I'm really fed. I technically don't need many more kills. I want to let my team have more kills, where our Ashe is 313, which is pretty good. Now, at this point, I'm just testing how tanky their Singed is. Obviously, he is playing the tank role of the team. And I could do quite a bit of damage to him. So at this point, I'm kind of telling my team, don't worry about the Singed. I can kind of burst him. Now, I wouldn't really use ult on the Singed because he's not a high priority target to burst. But, just in case. If he was alone, I would be able to kill him. Now, our Ashe somehow down bottom gets a double kill by herself. Obviously, I didn't have vision. I wasn't looking. But, well played by him. But then the Gragas shows up. Now, I don't recall if I said SS, but that's one point I will bring up. If you are especially pre-made, but also in solo queue, always call SS. It helps a lot. A lot of people don't realise how much saying SS actually helps. It just increases the awareness. If someone's not paying attention, you say SS. It just increases their awareness. Like, okay, they might come to me. Now, here's a point that I'm, here. I see both of them. The Gragas is very low. I have high burst at this point. Bam, get the stun off. Another Q, get DFG and get the kill. I know Lee Sin doesn't have flash, so he's kind of just waiting for his W. He hasn't still got it up. He waits. I throw E out, managed to get the stun, and double kill. So that was a pretty good play on my part. Managed to get the W pretty good. And then the Severe's coming to mid. Now, she does a fair bit of damage to me because I have basically hardly any armor. My Lulu's there to support me. Poke, poke, poke. At this point, we call go. So our Lulu ults in with flash. They're trying to kill me with blade and everything. And I managed to live. At this point, I'm 805. They surrender. Always say GG, well played. At this point, I'm just going all in, trying to get one more kill. And I managed to get it and survive. So overall, pretty good game by my part. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you guys found it useful. Hopefully next time either Lolreplay will be updated or the VOD will be a better quality and I won't tab out as much.